The Galaxy A07 is here, and I can already tell you that it is going to be a bestseller. The reason is because Samsung made two decisions that I feel the competition will struggle to match. Now that sounds really strange because as far as I can remember, it's always been the other way around, you know. The competition is always giving us way more than Samsung themselves. But the moment that Samsung decided to upgrade the processor of the Galaxy A07 to Helio G99, for me, I just feel it was game over. From the very few days I have actually used this phone, I could already feel the difference. The lags I complained about in the A06, they are all gone. Switching between camera modes when I was testing the camera was way more faster, and even everyday use just feels way more responsive. The A06 was really frustrating, and that's an experience I'm so grateful that I did not get to experience in the Galaxy A07. Another long overdue upgrade is the screen refresh rate. Finally, we're getting 90 Hz. So overall, I would say the A07 just feels way more smoother and delivers way more better experience than what we had with the A06. Now let's go back to this design and just talk a little about it. Yeah, it got a little refresh. Unlike the A06 that has the single floating camera, the A07 now puts both cameras into one module or a bar, giving it that familiar A-series look. Yeah, but when it comes to build quality, it is still practically the same. We have a plastic back, plastic frame, and a glass front. However, when it comes to durability, it is slightly better as we now have an IP54 rating for water and dust resistant. Audio is also where you get to be reminded that this phone is a very cheap budget phone. It comes with a single downfiring mono speakers that, yeah, they sound cheap for the price point, but at least we're happy that Samsung kept the headphone jack. So if you want proper stereo sound, you may just have to plug in your headphones to get that quality of audio. The SIM card tray still supports memory expansion up to 2 TB. And on the right side, you're going to see this key island that houses both the side-mounted fingerprint scanner and the volume button. Now let's talk about this display. It is still an IPS LCD display with 720 pixel resolution, but the bezels are still very, very thick. And yes, that outdated U-shaped notch is still there. Now, when it comes to watching YouTube videos, the quality can go up to 2K, giving you that really sharp, vibrant colors and quality when you're watching videos. But like I mentioned earlier, performance is where the Galaxy A07 makes its biggest leap when you compare it to the A06 of last year. Honestly, this phone feels like the Galaxy A16 4G that launched earlier this year. And actually, it has the same specs, at least in the performance department. So that means it can comfortably handle all of your everyday tasks like calling, testing, and social media. And even if you push it a bit more into light gaming and multitasking, it can also handle it for you. Now, looking at the Nano review comparison, you can see that the jump is really massive. About 61% boost in CPU performance and nearly 100% improvement when it comes to GPU and gaming performance. And from my personal experience, I can confirm that these are not just numbers. It really shows when you use this phone. Apps open really fast. There is barely any lag when you're trying to switch between applications, and they even stay longer in the background thanks to either the 4 or the 6 gigs RAM that you may choose to go for, depending on how much that you have. And then there is software. The Galaxy A07 runs on Android 15 and One UI 7, and Samsung is promising up to 6 years of major Android updates. Now, realistically, it is hard to imagine anyone still using this exact phone in 2031, and I think that Samsung probably knows it too, but it is reassuring to know that so long as you decide to keep this phone, you will keep getting the latest Android features and security patches. Battery capacity remains the same at 5,000 mAh, but thanks to the way more efficient processor, you should expect way better battery life overall. I wasn't able to drain mine to 0% to see the screen on time and give you those numbers like I would always do, but yeah, I can tell you that it definitely is better and much improved when you compare it to last year's A06. Charging is also what has improved. It now supports 25 watts charging. In fact, my boss Cyril Cooley actually mentioned that in his review that he got about 50% in just 30 minutes. So yes, you can expect solid charging speeds with this smartphone. Now, when it comes to accessories, I didn't get a charging brick or a case when I bought mine. So at this point, I really can't confirm if Samsung is including it for everyone or it's just depending on your region. Maybe if you're in Lagos State, and that is only when you get it. Now let's talk about these cameras. The Galaxy A07 comes with a 50 megapixel main sensor along with a 2 megapixel depth sensor and then an LED flashlight. And at the front, we're getting an 8 megapixel selfie cameras. Now when it comes to how good these cameras are, I would say the results, well, they are just there, as you would expect from a budget phone. In good daylight and proper sunlight, you get shots that are really usable and fairly detailed, but nothing really spectacular. They look good as long as there is proper lighting. Selfies, I would say, are serviceable for social media, but you really don't want to expect anything flagship level at this price point or when it comes to details and color accuracy. And for videos, yeah, you are practically limited to just 1080p at 30 frames per second with no real stabilization. So when you're shooting videos on the go, it's going to look a bit shaky. But I feel a few more software updates will definitely make it better, because I've seen better photos with the Galaxy A16 that uses the same processor. Pricing of this phone sits around 140,000 to 150,000 naira depending on the region that you're buying yours from, and also you can get way better colors than this green color that I have right here, so look out for those colors. And as usual, I will always recommend you go for the 6GB RAM variant so that you can get even better, smoother experience when you're using it. So in conclusion, yeah, Samsung really did make some really good calls and good decisions when it comes to the Galaxy A07. And that is why I think it is going to be a bestseller. And honestly, I can't wait for what the A17 will be coming with, since we already have that processor on here. So that is all of it from me. What do you think about the Galaxy A07? Let me have your thoughts in the comment section below. Now, thanks for watching. Don't also forget to like this video, and yeah, follow and subscribe, because my next review will be the Redmi 15C, which will be coming shortly. So I think I'll catch you in this video. Yep.